No one expected Michael J. Fox to say it. Not at 64. Not after everything he's survived. But in a moment of startling honesty, he revealed the names of the celebrities he doesn't want showing up at his funeral. Before we get there, you have to understand the world he came from. Michael Andrew Fox entered the world on June 9, 1961, in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Not as a Hollywood star in the making, but as the fourth child in a loud, loving, constantly moving family. A brother and three sisters surrounded him, shaping his early years with playful chaos and sibling energy. At the center of it all stood his father, William Fox, a man shaped by duty and discipline. As both a police officer and a member of the Canadian Forces, William carried himself with the quiet authority of someone who understood sacrifice. And from an early age, young Michael absorbed those lessons: structure, responsibility, and the idea that every choice you make says something about the life you lived. Then there was Phyllis, his mother, an actress, a payroll clerk, and a quiet force of creativity. She balanced hard work with imagination, showing Michael you could be disciplined and still dream big. Growing up under that roof meant warmth, but also change. The Fox family didn't stay in one place for long. Military life pulled them from city to city, school to school, community to community. Every time Michael unpacked his things, he knew it wouldn't be for long. Those early shifts, that combination of structure and creativity, built the man he became, and shaped the surprising truth he would one day reveal about who he doesn't want anywhere near his final goodbye. What if the future you thought you wanted suddenly closed its door and pushed you toward the one you were truly meant for? For Michael J. Fox, that twist arrived long before Hollywood ever knew his name. In 1971, when his father, William Fox, finally retired from active duty, the family settled in Burnaby, a quiet suburb of Vancouver. It was the first time young Michael felt rooted. One place, one neighborhood, one chance to figure out who he really was. And from the start, he was a kid overflowing with passions. Like many Canadian kids, he lived and breathed ice hockey. He imagined himself gliding across NHL ice, scoring the winning goal, hearing the crowd roar his name. But there was one problem: his size. In the rough, physical world of competitive hockey, his smaller frame made that dream harder to chase. It wasn't lack of heart. It wasn't lack of effort. It was simply reality. But that setback didn't stop him. It redirected him. As a teenager, Michael found himself pulled toward a different kind of spotlight. He picked up a guitar, explored music, messed around with visual arts, and slowly discovered something. He loved telling stories. He loved expressing emotion. He loved becoming a character. Acting didn't start as a plan. It started as a curiosity. Then curiosity became passion, and passion became purpose. At just 15 years old, an age when most kids are still figuring out who they want to be, Michael made a bold move. He auditioned for the Canadian TV series Leo and Me, produced by CBC. And the moment he stepped in front of the camera, something clicked. His talent was undeniable. He landed the role. That early break didn't just boost his confidence. It trained him, shaped him, and whispered something he couldn't ignore. This is where you belong. And from that moment on, the world began to change for Michael J. Fox. He didn't walk into Hollywood as a prodigy. He fought his way there, one tiny stage, one cramped audition room, one maybe next time at a time. Before anyone knew the name Michael J. Fox, before the world imagined him racing through time in a DeLorean, he was just a determined kid proving himself in every corner of Canadian theater. In those early years, he treated every performance, no matter how small, as a chance to sharpen his craft. Local plays, brief TV appearances, even American films shooting in Canada. He took them all, and without realizing it, he was building a bridge between two entertainment worlds, Canadian and American, a bridge that would later carry him straight into stardom. At 18, he made the kind of decision that changes a life. He left home and headed for Los Angeles, the unforgiving capital of dreams. Hollywood didn't welcome him with open arms. He stumbled through auditions, survived on small roles, and learned quickly that perseverance wasn't optional. It was the price of admission. Then came the role that flipped everything. In 1982, Michael was cast as Alex P. Caton in NBC's Family Ties, a part that didn't just elevate his career, it transformed him into a household name. For 7 unforgettable years, from 1982 to 1989, audiences fell in love with his sharp wit, electric charm, and uncanny comedic timing. His work earned him 3 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe, proving he wasn't just talented, he was undeniable. It was around this time he made another defining choice, adopting the name Michael J. Fox, a tribute to an actor he admired, and a name that would soon echo around the globe. Television made him a star, but one film made him a legend. In 1985, his portrayal of Marty McFly in Robert Zemeckis' Back to the Future became a cultural explosion. It was more than a role. It was lightning in a bottle. The moment Michael J. Fox became immortal in film history. It's almost impossible to pinpoint the exact moment Michael J. Fox stopped being just a rising star and became a cultural force. But many fans swear it happened the second Back to the Future hit theaters. The film's wildly inventive storyline, paired with Michael's unstoppable energy and instantly relatable charm, didn't just make the movie a hit, it turned it into a phenomenon. Practically overnight, he became the face of a franchise that would expand with blockbuster sequels in 1989 and 1990. But the 80s didn't belong to Michael for just one role. He filled the decade with performances that proved he was far more than a time-traveling teen icon. He became a full-fledged teen idol with Teen Wolf 1985, a quirky dive into adolescence and self-acceptance. He stepped into the world of music in Light of Day 1987, performing alongside Joan Jett. And in The Secret of My Success 1987, he nailed a hilarious yet pointed take on ambition and the absurdities of corporate life. Then came a stunning shift. In Casualties of War, Michael delivered a gripping performance in the Vietnam War drama, one that critics praised for its emotional depth and maturity, proving he could handle roles far beyond comedy. But as his star burned at its brightest, life dealt him a devastating blow. Michael received a diagnosis that could have ended his career on the spot: Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological disorder. For most people, it would have been the end. For Michael, it became one of the greatest tests of courage the entertainment world had ever seen. Instead of stepping back, he stepped forward. Throughout the 1990s, he continued acting, pouring resilience and humor into every role. He charmed audiences in Doc Hollywood, took on a romantic comedy with For Love or Money, 1993, brought heart to life with Mikey, 1993, and delivered sharp comedic bite in Greedy, 1994. Each project became proof of his professionalism, persistence, and uncanny ability to connect with audiences despite the physical challenges he faced behind the scenes. His longtime collaboration with Family Ties creator Gary David Goldberg reached new heights in Spin City in 1996. As New York City's fast-talking, quick-witted deputy mayor, Fox reminded everyone why he was one of TV's most beloved stars, mixing comedy, warmth, and depth with effortless precision. Around the same time, he made his final major theatrical film appearance in Peter Jackson's The Frighteners, 1996, earning praise for a performance that blended humor, suspense, and real emotional vulnerability. And as if his range needed further proof, he lent his voice to iconic family favorites, including Homeward Bound, Homeward Bound 2, Stuart Little, and Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Through every triumph and every challenge, one truth kept emerging. Michael J. Fox wasn't just an actor people loved, he was an inspiration people needed. Long before Michael J. Fox became a symbol of courage, he had already mastered something few actors ever do. He learned how to stay relevant across generations. And the real twist? He didn't do it with blockbuster roles or flashy comebacks. He did it with something far more powerful: consistency, humility, and a spark that simply refused to fade. As his on-screen rhythm shifted and his career evolved, Michael never stepped away from television. Instead, he surprised audiences with sharp, unforgettable guest appearances, moments that proved he could still steal a scene with nothing but presence. In Scrubs, 2004, Boston Legal, 2006, Rescue Me, 2009, and The Good Wife, starting in 2002, he delivered performances so compelling that Emmy nominations and wins kept coming. It was as if Hollywood was saying, yes, he's still got it, and audiences couldn't help but agree. His talent hadn't dimmed, it had simply deepened. But acting was only one chapter of his evolution. When Michael J. Fox turned to writing, he opened a window that many didn't expect. His memoir, Lucky Man, 2002, peeled back the glamour of Hollywood and revealed the moment he first confronted Parkinson's disease. He didn't hide, he invited readers in. Then came Always Looking Up, 2009, a profound reflection on optimism, perseverance, and the art of living fully, even when life becomes unpredictable. And in 2010, he released A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Future, a warm and witty guide that mixed humor, honesty, and hard-earned wisdom, offering inspiration to anyone facing uncertainty or adversity. These weren't just books, they became lifelines. Stories that reminded millions that hope doesn't vanish in hardship, it grows louder. And while his career and advocacy expanded, another story quietly shaped his life. The one that began not on a film set, but on a sitcom stage in 1988. On July 16th of that year, Michael J. Fox, already a household name thanks to family ties, married his co-star, Tracy Pollan. What started as an on-screen connection became one of Hollywood's most admired real-life love stories. Their bond wasn't flashy or staged, it felt real, grounded, steady, and unshakably genuine. Fans didn't just watch their romance, they believed in it. Together they built a life marked not by fame, but by partnership, resilience, and unwavering loyalty. The kind of love story that doesn't just survive Hollywood, it defies it. For decades, Michael and Tracy Pollan have embodied the rare kind of love story Hollywood usually ruins. Their marriage has survived fame, pressure, illness, and the relentless grind of the industry, yet it remains one of the most admired partnerships in show business. Together, they raised 4 children in a home filled with warmth, creativity, and the kind of laughter that comes from 2 people fiercely committed to holding their family together. Their life has always felt like a gentle reminder that love, resilience, and devotion can still thrive under the brightest spotlight. But now, as Fox reflects on his life, legacy, and the relationships that shaped him, he is surprisingly candid, sometimes even sharply humorous, about who should not stand among the crowd when that final moment comes. In a recent interview, Fox didn't dodge the question. Instead, he leaned into it with the same disarming wit and honesty that made him a cultural icon. And the first name he mentioned? Lea Thompson, his beloved co-star from the Back to the Future trilogy. Lea is brilliant, no question, but over the years, our behind-the-scenes dynamic could get complicated. Creative differences that never fully settled. And honestly, I'd prefer my farewell to be free of even the tiniest spark of awkwardness. So for her, better to take a pass. His words weren't cruel, they were reflective, honest. A recognition that some relationships, no matter how iconic on screen, are best kept firmly in the past when it comes to deeply personal, final moments. And Lea Thompson, as beloved as she is, made the list. Next on the list is Patricia Heaton, a well-loved actress he's encountered countless times in Hollywood circles. Patricia is lovely and incredibly talented, Fox began, choosing his words carefully. But she and we've never really connected on a deeper, human level. At this point in my life, authenticity means everything. When I picture my final moments, I want people who walked beside me, not just around me. He stressed that it wasn't about resentment or conflict, just personal truth. She's amazing at what she does, but if I'm being totally honest, she's not someone I'd want at my funeral, and I say that with complete respect. His candor was striking, the kind of honesty most people feel but rarely say aloud. Then Fox brought up Quentin Tarantino, a filmmaker celebrated worldwide for his style, sharp mind, and unmistakable energy. Tarantino is a genius, Fox said with a half smile. But let's just say we interpret the world differently. I respect him a lot, but funerals aren't the place for cinematic debates or philosophical deep dives. I want my family to focus on remembering me, not on listening to a lecture about film theory. It was a humorous yet revealing moment, showing Fox's desire for emotional simplicity rather than intellectual intensity in such a vulnerable setting. Finally, he mentioned Johnny Depp, a man whose career and personal life have often mirrored the public scrutiny Fox knows all too well. Johnny is brilliant and wonderfully eccentric, Fox admitted, but his presence can be a lot in quiet spaces. My farewell, I hope, will be peaceful, gentle, and uncluttered. I'd hate for it to turn into an unpredictable adventure. So I say this kindly, Johnny, maybe sit this one out. With each name, Fox walked a careful line. Respectful, yet truthful. Compassionate, yet firm. His message wasn't about exclusion. It was about emotional clarity, about shaping his final moments with the same intentionality he's shown throughout his life. It's the kind of confession that makes you stop, blink, and read twice. Michael J. Fox revealing the unexpected names he doesn't want at his funeral. And when he got to George Clooney, the room seemed to freeze. Fox paused, choosing his words with the careful honesty that has defined his life. George is charismatic, kind, the sort of person who brightens a place just by walking in. But a funeral, my funeral, isn't a stage for charm or a place where the energy shifts. I want calm. I want familiarity. I want quiet love. He explained that Clooney, admired, beloved, instantly magnetic, might unintentionally pull the spotlight. And this one moment, Fox added gently, is something I want reserved for the people closest to my heart. It wasn't rejection. It wasn't bitterness. It was clarity. In that moment, Fox offered a rare window into the mind of a man who has spent decades living in the glare of global attention, yet still fiercely guards the corners of his life that matter most. His reasoning wasn't about who he dislikes. It was about emotional space, personal peace, and the sacredness of a final goodbye. Every name he listed carried a story, a boundary, a glimpse into the delicate balance he maintains between Hollywood legend and deeply private human being. By speaking so openly, he nudged all of us to think about our own inner circles, the ones we trust with our beginnings, our endings, and everything fragile in between.